Howdy team and welcome back. Well, this is surprising. What have we here? The IS-8, fully upgraded, crew maxed out, only 30k left on the IS-7 grind, and I'm not finding it that bad at all. Why is this surprising, you ask? Well, I have rage sold the IS-8 twice in my World of Tanks career. Once on PC, and once more again here on Blitz. After about 10 games, I gave the whole line away and bought back in at tier 7 with the KV3 as the IS-4 line had just been released. The IS-8 when stock is an absolute punish, it really is. And to find out why that should be, let's bring up the Ruckus stat board and have a quick look at the attributes of the vehicle. Immediately at a glance we can see that the armor is poor, but the maneuverability is good, very good in fact, but this is only when it's maxed out. When it's stock, you just cannot make use and realize the full potential of the tank's maneuverability. It is the most maneuverable tier 9 heavy tank by far. But the armor is poor, as we can see. It's good from one angle, but you cannot make the most of it when the tank is so slow. Combine that with the fact that it's only got -5 degrees gun depression, and you're running the BL9 from the IS-3 when stock, which has worse accuracy, and the penetration's okay, but not great, not good enough to blast your way through thicker armor because you can't reach weak spots like lower glaciers with that limited gun depression. Means that when stock it's just a painful experience. But once you've got it upgraded and the crew's maxed out, this becomes a completely different beast. The armor doesn't get any better, although the top turret is slightly better shaped and has a bit more thickness in certain areas. What the biggest improvement is in the maneuverability and the 122mm M62 T2. Now the weight is low for the tier, very much lower than the average for the tier. The engine power is still quite good, which means you've got an excellent power to weight. 14.5 horsepower per ton is just about as good as it gets for the tier 9 heavies. The M103 actually has the best, and the Conqueror a little bit better as well. But where the IS-8 flogs these guys is in top speed. 50 km per hour top speed is fantastic for a heavy tank, and this thing can quite easily get up to it, faster even on a downhill slope. And the traverses are great as well. 28 degrees hull traverse and 23 degrees turret traverse, leading to a combined traverse rate which is way above the average for the tier. 51 degrees per second means you can keep the armor where it needs to be, and that is absolutely crucial, as we'll see in a bit. Now the gun, the after mentioned 122mm M62 T2, is a fast firing, reasonably high alpha damage weapon with a good DPM for the tier and fantastic AP and gold round penetration. That's heat rounds there. The dispersion aim time, being a Russian vehicle, of course, not great, and the elevation and depression are also poor. The IS-8 is definitely a machine that works best on level terrain, if you can fight with it on level terrain as opposed to hills, and at medium to short ranges for your engagements. Now, to have a closer look at the armor of the IS-8, let's move over to the tank statistics sites. I'm going to use tanks.gg and gamemodel3ds.com because they've both got some different info that I'd like to share. Now, starting here on tanks.gg, we're looking at the T10 tier 9 heavy tank. What the hell is this thing? Well, on PC, the IS-8 has literally just gone through a name change and rebranding. It's now the T10, and the stats sites have just reflected this. Yesterday, I was having a quick look through these sites to just weigh up what I was going to do with this armor discussion, and it was labeled the IS-8 then, and today I was very confused as I logged in and there's a T10 and no IS-8, but it has been changed and things are more or less the same. The armor on the turret looks a bit better on the T10. It must have a new turret, different shape and a bit more armor all around. But for this discussion on the pike nose, this T10 will do. Now, I haven't discussed the pike nose that's common on a lot of Soviet vehicles, namely the IS-8, the IS-7 and the Object 268. There are a few others, but they're not in Blitz yet. And I moved past the IS-3 as well. I moved past the IS-3 before I started this channel, so I haven't really discussed the pike nose in detail. And for many of you who are now masters at the game, this will be no new news. But for newcomers who've heard me talking about armor angling and how you should always be angled towards your enemies to maximize your effective armor thickness, well, For the IS-8 and any other tank with a pike nose, it's a lot simpler story, because to get the most out of your armor, all you do is point it directly at your biggest threat. The pike nose, as the name suggests, is a pike-shaped nose. Now the IS-8 has 3 plates of 120mm thickness welded together to create this pointy beak. And whilst 120mm thickness is poor for the front of a heavy tank, when it's angled towards your enemy, the effective thickness is then maximized and you've got the best armor you can possibly present. So here we go. IS-8 is now optimized, and we're looking at about, from this angle, about 240 millimeters of thickness, less for the lower plate from this angle. And that 240 is a 50-50 chance for most tier 9 guns. Now, because of this shape, the closer you get to your target, if they're a high vehicle, they're going to be firing down onto the pike nose, and you can see that that's much less now. Say if you're in an M103 or an E100 firing down onto these plates, it's then an easy pen, so you do have to be mindful of that. One other thing to note, and you'll see it demonstrated in this upcoming gameplay, is that this pike nose is a limiting factor for side scraping. This is probably the angle you want for side scraping right there for most vehicles. We can see that the sides are quite good still, over 300mm effective thickness for the side armor when you're angled like this, but to get the gun pointed towards your enemy you have to poke out further, and that's going to flatten off the pike nose, and it's now far less below 200. We're looking at about 170mm, which is pennable from any tank at tier 7. Well, maybe not any tank, but a lot of the tanks, the top guns at tier 7 will be able to get through that, and certainly tier 8 and tier 9 guns. So you should definitely still try to side scrape if you're in that situation, but you just have to be mindful that you're going to have to take much more care. One more thing to note about the IS-8's hull armor as we move now to Game Models 3D, and their armor model, is that it does have a certain amount, this thin strip here, of 30mm of spaced armor running down the side of the hull. Combine that with the 20mm you get from the tracks, offers very good heat round resistance. Heat rounds will lose most of their effective penetration going through spaced armor. And that's about it for armor and the pike nose. One more thing we'll look at though, as we're here on Game Models 3D, is the crew and module layout. There's no real surprises there. You can see most of the back of the vehicle is fuel tanks and engine. One driver sitting directly in the middle behind the driver's hatch there. The biggest point, I think, the most interesting point you can see, is that firing to the right of the vehicle has a bigger chance of damaging ammo racks. And you can see there, most of the right hand side of the turret is ammo racks, with the loader sitting just behind them, and there's a big block, 2 big blocks really, of ammo racks on the side of the hull directly underneath, as opposed to the left hand side, which is it's still got a few ammo racks, but they'll be harder to hit. So keep that in mind when you're firing against one of these things. So I noticed something surprising looking through those stats as I was doing up that statistics board. In the gun depression section, the best gun depression there is the M103, unsurprising, -8 degrees. But it's only equal best, because also with -8 degrees is the ST1, the tier 9 Russian heavy on the IS-4 line, and this blew my mind. It's a Russian tank, it can't have -8 gun depression. What the hell? I'm trying to rack my brain thinking about my time with the ST1, and I'm pretty sure it's an ST1, not an STI. There's a lot of confusion and debate over that on the interwebs, and I couldn't find a straight answer. Apparently a Russian I translates into an N-shaped symbol, so it can't be that. ST1 will do, I don't care. But I'm trying to think back to my time with the ST1, and I really cannot picture it having that good gun depression. So if anyone's got one out there, please send me a side profile, or link me a side profile picture, even better, and I'll whip it through Photoshop and see if I can't get to the bottom of this, because I just don't believe it. Okay, first game, tier 10 battle on mines. We've charged the hill, myself and Stealth and T-54, but we ran into some pretty stiff opposition there, a couple of mediums sprinting up to meet us, and the rest of the reds forming up as well. So Stealth didn't try and push that hill attack, probably wisely. There were a lot of guns facing his way, but our T-62 managed to slip up there first, So we do the upper hand as I riskily pull out into the open in front of all those guns. I do take one hit from the T-54, but return shot gets through. And now I'm backing away, keeping the pike nose pointed at those threats. Don't want to present any more side armor. That was a very big risk there, trying to get up on the hill. But looks like I'm up. And hopefully that IS-7 is distracted. No, he's not. He's looking this way. Get out of there. Alright, safe. Now we've got the high ground. This game is already looking pretty strong. All the Reds are in play at this point. We do lose that T-62 to the Jagdpanzer E-100. He kept his head out just a little bit too long there. Lower Glacier shot. And yes, this is a good spot to be in now. We've lost no teammates to stupid flanking moves. No one's gone the island, but none of the Reds have gone there too. It's just a straight brawl, facing off over the cap. And I am in a great position here to just pick off distracted targets. Ah, Mr. T-34. That's that shot in the side of the head before. That's my first kill. 2 tier 10s and the prototype left, getting some good side shots on the IS-7 from up here and keeping that rock between myself and the Jagdpanzer. Back the prototype, tested HE rounds there just to see what kind of pen I'd be expecting to get. I would have thought the side armor would have been penable on that thing with HE rounds, but not quite, just the rear armor then. It had low hit points anyway, so it was not really even worth the effort. Looking for the Jagdpanzer. Last target up. Stealth is charging in. It's a bold move. He doesn't have many hit points left. Killing blow. Oh, map glitch. Stealth is in. Can the Jagdpanzer turn in time? Apparently he can. Bad luck, Stealth. Side of the casement for the kill. Just a second class for the game. Still doing pretty good. 2k, 3 for myself. 9 shots penned from 13. And decent credits and XP too. Oasis Palms for the second game. I'm with Selbrock in the E50. And we're going to head out wide to the left. IS-8 probably fights better in the town there to the right on the flat ground, but stick with the teammate you know is the most reliable. We're going to lose a few of our lower tier heavies to the town, but we've got a big enough flanking force out wide here that we should be safe. Got 2/3 of our team coming this way. Medium's heading out wide. First target's up, KV-13 and an E50. Very even matchup. With a couple of bigger things rolling up in the rear. Try and get a shot on this E50 before that T-30 appears. Center mass. Blast my way through with the 258mm pen. Hopefully that Comet can handle that KV-13. It's a very well armoured medium tank, the KV-13. IS-3 to Selbrock's right. Misses. And I'm going to unwisely poke out here to look for that T-30. Hopefully he's distracted by Selbrock. But no, he's looking this way and take a shot to the turret ring. Repair that without noticing that I'd also taken commander damage, so I had to use the second repair, or the multi-purpose repair, to heal the commander. Eventually do come out on top of that engagement though, trading 2 shots for the T-30's 1, and now he's taking shots to the rear, which means I can use that distraction. Bang, side of the turret. Now I just want to clean up this flank before we move on. Don't need any mediums appearing to my rear. This E50 is battling. Smack through the front of the turret there. Selbrock gets the IS-3. The Reds are running out of tanks. Again, just aim center mass. and lucky that it didn't get the gun mantlet. We move on, 2 tanks remaining, IS-8 and an M103, and this is where things take a turn for the hilarious. The M103 is in the dry riverbed. We're going to see more of him in a second as we take out this IS-8. Serbrock's in behind him. Looks like he's after the Tiger II. Chance here to ninja the kill. 29 damage. Alright, M103 in 3, 2, 1. Derp! Not the damage trade I was hoping. What's that, about 500 damage received to 50 dealt, and I take one to the side of the body there. But the hilarity doesn't end there, because what's disappearing to the right? That is a fully airborne E75. I've seen those thrown off bridges to be airborne, but I've never seen one drive off a cliff so fast that it gets the whole tank off the ground. Will his damage trade be any more successful than mine? I don't like his angle. 600 damage for 4. Now the M103 wants to finish me. Save me, comrades. Yes! His shot bounces off the top deck of the E75. Ninja another one, surely. Yes. Oh, well played, E75. Third class. 3 for Serbrock, 2 for myself, and some average stats all around for that game, really. It was only the ending that made it worthwhile. Temple for the third game. Myself and Stealth in the T-54, who is going to run wide into the high ground there past the rivers, and I'm going to try and use the speed of the IS-8 to get into a very aggressive forward position and catch the Reds out as they cross the river. That's the plan, and that was some bad spelling there. Shout out to the guys on the opposite team. Stealth will hopefully light some people up as they cross here in the open. Right, Leopard, PTA, T-54, the other Leopard, all the mediums are here. This is going to be dangerous, using the soft cover here to block that shot from the T-54, but I do take a couple of hits. Just keeping that pike nose directly towards the threats. There's too many of them though. Get some unlucky misses. Again, not a well-placed shot. Stealth is giving up the high ground over there, which isn't good news for us. Try and catch this Leopard out. Yes, that's a good hit. There are 6 of the Reds here in this corner, so my right-hand flank should be pretty safe. I'm feeling confident in my ability to hold this position for the time being, so long as Stealth keeps that high ground. And that was unlucky. The soft cover there blocked that shot. And this was terrible. Had to come all the way over to get that hit on the Leopard. Take one on the side as well from the T-54, who's playing a good game. Just keeping the pike nose towards him now. Stealth is in all kinds of trouble. And I'm trying to help him as much as I can. High damage roll needed on the T-20, but don't get it. And the T-54 uses that opportunity to come around behind Stealth and take him out. Well played to him. Now to my right I've got some teammates, so that's where I need to be. I don't want to be isolated over here with mediums everywhere. Move now to back up the IS-3 and the Jagdtiger 88. We are doing okay. The Indian slips by. We've got threats to our left now. Down goes the Comet. Good hit to the side of the T-20, but look out, T-54 to my left, coming straight through. He does pen my side, and he's in, running an excellent distraction. rear of the engine compartment for an engine fire. Hold on, IS-3. Keep the hull and the pike nose directly towards this Leopard. There's a shot and his return misses. Behind me the T-54 gets the IS-3. Come on, HE to the front. Yes. But behind me the T-54 has come back, avoiding the Jagdtiger 88 to finish that kill, which was very well played. The right thing to do by him. And now he's on the run. Surrounded at this point by 3 of our guys. We should have this in the bag. Come on, KV-3. He's slipping by. Very accurate gun on the Jagdtiger, still managing to miss. T-28 prototype derping around the hills. There we go. In the end. Well played to that T-54 and the guys in the Leopards. Just second class in the scout badge for that game, with 3k damage dealt. The T-54 on the opposite team got 2k, well played. Average accuracy, 36k credits and 1700 XP. Winter Malinovka for the 4th game, and this game, you guys, oh my god, you'll laugh and you'll cry. The ending to this one, it's a doozy, but I'm not going to give too much away as we move up to the windmill. Selbrock's back in the E50 for this one, and we've got 2 very well matched teams. Same tiers on either side, and the top tiers we've got 2 tier 9 mediums on both and an IS-8. The RNG is strong with this game. I get both sides of it in big measure. First target up. Selbrock has spotted the IS, and Yotossi Clam Master down there in the T-54 has opted to go through the mid-ground. You have to be mindful of that. This is one of those games where the top tier mediums do a flanking maneuver, which means the windmill is going to be very easy for us to take, seeing as we've got a whole team up here. Come over the top here, get the IS. He won't last much longer now. Look for the T-54, Yotossi. Slide shot. Through the buildings. Hit. That was a good shot. And the M46 pattern down there as well. With an IS-6 sitting on cap. Speculative shot at the M46. And now a decision has to be made. Do I try and stay here and defend this position, or do we push the advantage and try and clear out this side of the map towards the red spawn? And that shot was never going to connect, and I make the decision to flank here, or to push through this IS-8 into the red spawn. Was it the right thing to do? Oh, it's hard to say, even in hindsight, but here we go. This is where the good luck, bad luck begins. Charge down the IS-8. Fire on the move through his front for the kill. Wiggle the body to throw the KV-3's aim off. His shot goes in my tracks, just pulls me to the side. And I use this opportunity now to reset the cap. And look at this mouth breather in the IS-6, just sitting dumbly in the middle of the cap, waiting for targets to appear. When does that ever work? He says. We'll be seeing more of that guy later on. Charge down the IS-3 now, who's just taken out a Jagdpanther. Full speed ahead, IS-8, keep the pike nose directly towards the KV-3. He's only got 175mm pen, which is not enough to get through unless it's a very well aimed shot, and I threw that aim off by jiggling the hull. I need a high damage roll here to take him out. Yes! Issue 152 now charging in. 357 hit points, this should be an easy kill. Reload. Oh, off the upper plate. How did that bounce? And that's given him the chance now to reload with adrenaline, but luckily he's only using AP, and yes, bounce. But now Yotossi in the T-54 is charging in, and I'm not going to be able to keep the pike nose towards him. He's behind me. But now I get another stroke of luck. That shot hits the flattest portion of the turret there and does go through. And even though I've got ammo rack damage, it's going to give me the chance to reload here. You notice, props to Yotossi, he's firing AP rounds, and every one of his AP rounds has connected and penetrated. T-54 drivers who are using 100% gold rounds. You don't need more pen, you just need more skill. Now the M46 was spotted on very low health before he disappeared there, so I'm on HE. I'm just going to need a glancing blow now with this guy. And the cap is at 3/4. Repair the ammo rack. There he is. Snapshot. Yes. Now reset the cap. 85%. Go left. It's faster. Go left. Why am I not going left? No. This is going to be a photo finish. I'm still on HE. 95%. Just going to have to fire at center mass on the cap. 100%. Fire. He appears and the shot goes true, but the cap is completed. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, God, there's nothing worse than when a player that bad wins by playing so badly. Radley's Top Gun crucial. 3k damage, 1.8 for Cellbrock. The tier 9 mediums on both teams having great games. 14 shots fired, 11 penetrations, 14,000 credits, and 1k XP on a loss. That game hurt my head, so let's finish with something a little bit more positive. How about a mastery game? Everyone likes mastery games, don't they? Today's final match is on Copperfield. I'm with Clambassador in the T-54. Clambassador being the Asia server's newest forum moderator. Congratulations to him on his new posting. As we move up into the high ground here, gonna back up this VK4502A. I don't like to go all the way up on the top at the start of matches on this map. I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. If need be, I can bail out behind me here quite easily. We've got a Jagdtiger 88 charging forward, who is immediately regretting that decision. He's down to 500 hit points. He's got some backup there in the form of an IS-3. So one more shot on the Jagdtiger, and now it's time to charge in and try and block some shots for this poor VK, who's doing a good job. I throw myself in front of this guy, who's also taking T-34 damage from behind. Pike nose directed towards the enemy. There's a bounce. Someone will get that guy. There we go. VK, well played. Now I'm going to try and slip by the T-32 here without taking damage from the Jagdtiger, but how did he pen then? The rear of the vehicle must have been poking out just a little bit too much. And you can see there that standard AP rounds quite easily able to go through the front upper plate of a Jagdtiger when it's unangled. Just hang back, time the shot. Looks like he's distracted by the T-32. There we go, side of the casement. 415 damage. On the far side of the map, Clambassador is having a tough time of it. He's got some enemy mediums over there. One more through the side of the Jagdtiger. Yes, he's run out of hit points. Threatened by a Panther 2. Surely. Oh, upper plate angled. We can pen a Jagdtiger but can't pen the Panther 2. It's going to take a second shot. Panther 2 down. Now we need to get rid of this Jagdtiger. That's a dangerous gun. And we don't need that coming back to haunt us. Slip past the Tiger. But no need, the T-32 gets the kill. Turn to face the Tiger. Trying to keep that pike nose in the right position. He didn't have the gun depression there, but he's come around before I could track him in position, and he does manage to get a shot through my upper plate. Yes, there's a bounce. Just low enough in the ground here to prevent him getting weak spots. Ram kill, getting shot from behind now by T-54, who's charging in. Turn to face the threat. He's missed. Adrenaline on. Fucking T-54s with adrenaline at heat rounds. Got some backup. T-43, and there's a heat round. Absorbed by my tracks. One more is going to do it for both of us. Yes, the poor gun depression on the T-54 coming to my aid there. Thank you, T-43. T-44 remaining. Oh, here's another opportunity for a dive kill. Come on, I've got to redeem myself. All in! Charlie! Yes, got him. What? This could be embarrassing. Oh. Very fortunate bounce there. Jesus. And that's a wrap. Mastery, Confederate, and Steel War with 5k damage. Wrapping up today's episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Peace.